In this video, we're looking again at Lighter because the Season 1 has ended, Season 2 is ongoing, and this is going to be the biggest airdrop of 2025, so you better get started farming it right now if you haven't started already. So let's get started, because in this video I'm going to give you everything and also have a couple of strategies ready for you to use in order to get as many points as possible. So let's get started. Public mainnet is live. They were in the private beta for the last 8 months and they decided to go public right now. This was also the end of the Season 1 of running points. The Season 2 will be going through the end of 2025. The clarification was that it's going to end sometime before 2025. So we have at most 2 months, and it's definitely worth spending time to do it, to farm some points, because those points are going for $80 right now. So it's really hard to get a point, but you don't need much capital to get 1 point. So usually if you do it really in a smart way, you can get more from just getting points. And if those points will be $80 or $100 or even beyond that, I'm going to show you a calculator in a moment on how you can calculate the value. Then you basically get covered your losses. Of course, nothing here is financial advice. Crypto is risky. You can lose all your capitals. You have to be careful, and nothing here is guaranteed because you never know how well it's going to go in the end. There are different risks involved, but so far it seems like a really great opportunity. Lighter is an amazing exchange. If you haven't tried it, go to the website or check my link down below in the description. You get additional boost for your points down below, and I'm going to show you what I'm doing and how to trying to maximize the points. This is part of the challenge. I have trading streams going on between Lighter and other exchanges in order to maximize the points as well. I already have a couple of points going live here from this challenge. Basically got 5 points, which should give me between like $300 to maybe $500, and basically cover the losses that I had for the trades here that I'm running. There are a couple of strategies that I'm going to mention soon. This is the calculator, so we can probably expect something like $100 for the points, and there are a couple of pro tips that I'm going to discuss here. But to begin with, let's go back to what the points are selling on right now. There's the whole group run by Rich, Lighter OTC points, where people on Telegram can basically buy and sell points OTC over the counter. And basically sell, you know, if you have a wallet with 100 points, you can sell that. The current going price, the last time it was checked, was basically it was sold for $80 per point for 2.5 thousand points of Lighter, which is already pretty cool. And I think we're going to see only not that number going up, at least if they, you know, still launching this good of a market that we have right now. So how you can get Lighter points, and also what are these for? Basically, Lighter is this Perp exchange where you can trade high leverage of, you know, from Bitcoin, Ethereum to smaller assets, but you don't get the most points just by doing volume, especially that volume is free. On other exchanges that you can farm right now, the one that probably I mentioned also in here, if you go to the calculator, I'm going to talk about them in also different videos, things like, for example, Extended and Pacifica. Those are the two that I'm focusing on also right now. They really get you more points for volume. Lighter does not give that because basically volume is free. They have 0 fees. This is amazing about Lighter. They really try to have 0 fees when it comes to opening and closing different orders. You pay for liquidations, but also those liquidations give you points. This is one of the strategies that I've been using. So strategic liquidations, if you get liquidated, you get quite a lot of points, and this is one of the ways to do it. If you also get strategic liquidations of niche assets, so you're looking for low volume assets with low interest rates or low open interest, then this might give you even more points. So what I mean by that is, if you go to Lighter, you have all those different assets that you can go through, and basically you can segregate them by open interest. So how much open interest is in play right now. You can also search that by volume. Those are pretty much similar here, not exactly the same, but usually the low volume means also low open interest and vice versa. We're going with open interest because usually that's more interesting, and then you can pick from those assets here. Those are the assets that are usually smaller, less traded, and so you get more points for doing them. What you have here is, for example, I have a position in Ktoshi, in Easy. Those are like the smallest. I think Ktoshi is right now the smallest. No, Proof is. Ktoshi is number 2 when it comes to the smallest asset by open interest. Syrup as well. So that was my thesis for a couple of those assets and holding them. Apart from that, I'm trying to be profitable on this wallet. So having a bunch of assets, longing them, just to make profit, because to some extent you also have Sharpie ratio calculated, so the analyzed risk adjusted to return. Mine is terrible. If you have positive one, especially if you have a bigger one at, like, for example, 3 would be amazing, 3 4 that would be great. -11 means absolutely terrible, but those were a couple of really bad liquidations, but at the same time I got a lot of points for liquidation, because yes, liquidations really give you points. If you get liquidated, you can see that in my trading history. I think maybe just liquidations. There are a couple of liquidations here. There is also why I'm paying fees here, like $25, $20, and so on. But those are giving me points. So those are interesting, especially if you want to run higher on points in a quicker time. If you don't want to lose any capital, it's still possible, even if you don't want to do any directional bets, meaning you can always do delta neutral strategies. What that means is that, for example, if you have here, let's say ADA, Cardano, right, you can open long on one exchange like Lighter, and then on the other exchange that you're trying to farm. So for example, you go to Extended or Pacifica, you open short for the exact same size for the opposite take profit stop losses. So when one is closed, you take profit on the other one, and this way you only probably will lose a little bit money, maybe on fees on the other exchange, nothing on Lighter. But if you do it well, and by well I mean if you take notes of the funding rate, those funding rates means how much you pay for, here you pay for longing, right? This is annualized to 10% yearly. You can compare that to the other exchange, and sometimes you have those opportunities when on the other exchange it's, for example, cheaper, or it's maybe better to actually short because the funding rate is higher, and you can find those opportunities. In this way you're going to make the difference of holding the position, because you have to pay the funding. Sometimes the funding is negative. In this way, once you hold the long, you get the money. This is the delta neutral because you're never really losing on the position on the asset going up and down. It really doesn't depend on the market. The only thing it depends on is this funding rates and the fees from the exchange. So this is one of the strategies to get pretty much 3 points. You won't probably get super much of them because, again, Lighter is not giving you much for the volume. But if you start doing that on like niche assets, so you find the nichest asset possible, for example, here on Lighter, and then you go to, for example, Pacifica or Extended and try to do the same, you're going to get quite a lot of points for that. And this is one of the strategies that I would use until the end of the year for those two exchanges, and beyond that for example, Extended and Pacifica at the same time if you want to farm the two. So I think there are a couple of really interesting things here that you can do, and also by doing that you're going to learn quite a lot about how the markets move, and also how to have those delta neutral positions, and also maybe how to make money with this kind of futures arbitrage or funding rates arbitrage, whatever you want to call it. There's definitely a lot of ways of doing money in crypto outside of just being right about what asset to buy, because here with this funding rate arbitrage you only actually speculating on this funding, on the fees from the exchange. You really don't care about the asset, you don't care about the direction it's going. Just make sure that you have proper take losses and stop losses, take profits and stop losses, so that you won't get liquidated on the one exchange and the other at the same time after some time, because for example the asset can go up and then down and you get liquidated, your short will get liquidated, then your long will get liquidated. You don't want that. So once you, for example, have to close your long because of that it's going down, then you want to also close the short part, this way realizing the profits on the other exchange. So the capital is still pretty much the same, minus those fees from the exchange, and maybe minus the funding rates or plus the funding rates if you were playing that correctly. So this is what I wanted to say. I think there's a lot of opportunities. You find the link down below to Lighter, but also to this points calculator that you can use for free. I've put it down so that you can calculate a lot of points, and this is based on what I could find about how many points there are in total about different exchanges, and I think it's well worth it. This is definitely the biggest airdrop of 2025. lighter. And for 2026, I definitely think that one of those exchanges here, like Extended or Pacifica, or maybe some of the other ones, will be really, really big. So it's really exciting. I think it's cool to at least try it and learn something new. And of course, for everything else, subscribe to the channel and see you in the next video.